Hi there, this is Paul Rao with Technically Speaking at Source Allies. A couple of weeks ago, we released a video about date-time formats on the web. Today, we're going to talk about a sister API to that one, the International Number Format API on the web. So formatting numbers on the web is both easy and then also harder than you'd expect. If you have a decimal, you have to round it to a certain number of digits. If you have a larger number, you need a thousand separator. If you're working across multiple countries, then the thousands and decimal separators are actually different. In other parts of the world, they use a period as the thousand separator and a comma as the decimal separator. So folks in those cultures will be very confused by our American and English usage of those characters. There's actually a built-in browser API for formatting numbers that I recommend you use, and it's the INTL number format. So if we just new up an INTL number format here, it's very similar to the date-time format, and we'll link that episode below. But you pass the language code you want to use. I'm just going to use undefined here because I want to pick up the browser's default language. And then you can pass some options, and then you just call format, and you give it a number. So let's say we want to give it a big number with a bunch of decimals. And you'll see here that it formats it with a 1,000 separator, and it gives us 3 decimal points. And that's great. But what if we want to get more precision? So we want like more decimals. So we can do maximum fraction digits and set to something like 6, and you'll see we get more. If we go all the way down to, say, 2, you'll see we get a smaller number. And then we can also even specify the rounding mode. So, for example, rounding mode of ceiling. You'll see it now rounds up. So that's all great, and it's great for formatting numbers. What this is it's actually the decimal style, which is the default. But as you can see here, we actually support currency, percent, and unit as well. So if you were to go ahead and set the style to currency and give it a currency code, so we'll say our currency is USD, you can see that it adds a $ in the front. If we were to go ahead and say it's a Great British Pound, you'll see it adds the pound sign in front of it. So super handy for displaying currencies in different formats. For those of you who work in like a accounting space, you can even give it a currency sign of accounting, and it'll put a negative number in parentheses for you. So a lot of just like really nice little nice to have features. If we give for a percentage, we can take a decimal value, so like 0.34, and it'll automatically format as a percentage. But we can actually do something even more useful. So lots of times we're working with values that are a unit. So for example, like number of gallons or number of miles or inches or whatever. And you can actually go in here and do unit, and then you can give it the unit. In this case, we'll say mile. And if I just do 34, you'll see I get 34 mi. We can go even further. What if we were going down the highway, we want to know miles per hour? So we can actually do dash per, another dash, not that many dashes, and you'll see it actually formats miles per hour. And it'll do that in a locale-specific way. So if I were to do this in, German or Russian or Spanish or Chinese, it would give me the appropriate abbreviation in those languages. We can even do a range. So let's say, it's the highway and the speed limit is minimum 40, max of 70. This will actually format 40 to 70 miles per hour. In summary, this API makes really easy work of formatting numbers in a bunch of different ways for a bunch of different common use cases. And most importantly, It's not that it does anything you can't do with, a bunch of string concatenation and if statements, but it's a lot more readable and it's a lot more resilient to internationalization concerns. So I highly recommend you look at this API next time you're putting numbers on the screen in a web app in any modern browser. This has been Paul Rao speaking technically with Source Allies. Have a topic you want covered? Comment it down below. And if you want to know more about Source Allies, check out our website in either the description or our profile. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.